Hey guys, this is Allure Cosplay and this is vlog number 7 out of my Mechaqueen series. We're going to use Mechaqueen Pharah again just to have some quick reference and so I can show you what I've been working on. That's all I want to do with these, I'm sorry. This week I worked on quite a few things. The gloves are probably the newest thing, so I'm going to talk about them first. So how did I make them? I just used $2-3 gloves from eBay that I purchased. I don't actually remember what I purchased them for. It was, I think, a random costume that I was planning to do, but I didn't end up doing, so I just had them and so I decided to use them. They don't actually fit me that well because my fingers are actually longer than these gloves. They're actually made for a lot shorter fingers, but that's okay. I had them and I didn't want to make new ones, so I just used them. The armor parts, I actually just took a medical glove. I put it on my hand and I drew on the pattern. I cut that out and I traced it on paper. And after I traced it onto paper, I traced it onto foam. And let me show you what happened. So I had these little guys and they were going to be my hand armor. However, the paint started cracking when I started moving the foam to fit me, and I had pre-shaped it before that. And I had added matte medium and the paint was still cracking. So I was not having that. I didn't want to have to fix that over and over and over again. I needed something sturdy, especially because you use your hands a lot. When you're in a costume, you need your hands to help fix yourself and things like that. Fix your armor. Maybe your wig is out of place. Maybe some lipstick went on your teeth. I don't know. But you need your hands, and I did not want to have to fix these over and over. I also had not added the fin thingy that's on top. So, I don't know. Before I continued any further, I just decided to swap to Warbler. So before I actually started putting armor on my hands, I flipped the gloves inside out and I cut out any extra fabric that was near the tips of the fingers because there was a lot and they don't really cut that extra stuff out, and then your fingers end up being really squished in there, so it was really uncomfortable, so I had to turn them inside out and do that first. Mechaqueen Pharah actually has some armor on the palm of her hand, and I do not. And I did that for a reason. So thinking about functionality of this costume, I thought that I was going to be pretty uncomfortable having to have giant shoulders and wings on the back of me and all kinds of uncomfortable armor that I can't really sit in or lean in or anything like that. Things that I might have to fix all the time. So I wanted to make my hands as comfortable as possible. So instead of making the armor that goes all the way around on the palms of her hands, I decided not to do that, and I only did it on the outside of the hands. So these little fingertips things, they continue on as well on this side, and they're supposed to be white, and as well as like those not knuckle pieces, these little pieces, I don't know what they're called, like the second pieces on top. They go all the way around, and there's actually a gold detailing in between them. Again, for functionality purposes, I decided not to do that. However, instead of that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to buy white fabric paint and some gold fabric paint, and I'm going to paint the inside to look the same as the actual Mechaqueen armor, but only the inside. Fabric paint tends to kind of move with the fabric. It's flexible, unlike Warbler armor. So I think that that's going to be a really good alternative to what I had to do otherwise. I really want to have some functionality in my hands because I want to be able to maybe hold a drink or hold my phone or hold my gun or something like that. So this costume is going to be a challenge enough. So I decided to just take this way out. So going back to the armor, the actual finger pieces and the main piece are just one piece of Warbler. I actually had lots and lots of scrap Warbler, so That's what I use to make them. Some of them are the brown warbler and some of them are the black warbler, and you can tell that I have some glue over here, but that's okay because I'm gonna paint over it and nobody's gonna be able to see it. The glue is messy on strategic places, I promise. The actual fin piece and the knuckle pieces are just again scrap warbler. I mashed them up and I kind of sculpted this. The rest is just one layer of warbler, meaning there's no actual foam in the back, so that it can make it as thin as possible and as light as possible. So if I ended up adding all the foam and all that stuff, A was gonna look a lot more bulky, B was gonna be heavier, and C, my hands are already going to be really toasty in a black glove with armor on them. If I went and added even more foam and things like that, I was probably just gonna be melting in there. This is also a pretty short glove. So what I was thinking is maybe adding some Velcro on the inside and adding some Velcro on the sleeve portion of my suit, I guess, and just Velcroing those one on top of each other so that you don't really see any skin in between. Because I feel like with the bracer there and the glove over there that they might just move around and you'll be able to see like a little bit of skin, and I don't want that. And if worse comes to worse, I'm just gonna use maybe some black body paint and paint my arms like right here, and then I will maybe cover it up that way. We'll see. So I also worked on these guys. I had finished the one last week, which is the one I talked about. After I had the actual pattern to make the second one, it took me like a day to make the second one. However, it took me like 2 weeks to figure out the pattern for the first one. So, oh my god, these things were quite a challenge for me. I don't know why. I tested it on top of my boots, and I figured out that this little part where it needs to remain open so that I can fit my heel in there, it won't be able to be held just with magnets. So the magnets are not going to be strong enough to keep this closed. So what I figured is I'm going to put a strip of Velcro on some kind of fabric maybe, and I'm going to glue it on the one side and glue some Velcro on the other side, and that is what's going to kind of keep it closed. So I'll have a thick strip over here and a thick strip over here. So the two strips I'm hoping are gonna keep this closed. Otherwise it just keeps popping open and sliding down, and that's gonna conflict with the actual shoe armor. So I'm trying to avoid that. What else did I do? I also reinforced with hot glue some of the inside seams so that nothing tears or anything like that. And I put some silicone on little gaps on the outside. While this was on my leg with the shoe on, I actually heated it up with the heat gun so that it would take a bit of a shape according to my shoe and not be so straight and flat and really kind of hard to stay in one place and be comfortable, really. So that's sometimes how I heat shape things to me. You have to be really careful not to burn yourself though, because or you know, burn anything else. You don't want to start a fire, you don't want to hurt yourself or anything like that. So only put the heat on the foam and only a little bit so that it softens up a little bit, and the seams are holding it. So once you soften it up and warm it up a little bit, it will take the shape that you need it to take, and then once it cools it will just stay in that shape. So jumping back and forth, things that I forgot to say about these gloves. What did I use to stick the warbler to the actual glove? I used contact cement. I don't know if I mentioned that before. So you just put some contact cement on the actual glove and some contact cement on your actual inside of the armor piece, and you stick them together once they're a little bit dry. And the second thing I forgot to say is that sometimes you get a little bit of sharp edges with the Worbla. So what you want to do is sand that away or cut it away. Because if it keeps touching your glove, it's just gonna rip your glove. And my glasses are still broken. That's right, guys. I need to fix my glasses. With the fingers, I just made little shapes like these, and then I made smaller ones and bigger ones for the sizes of my fingers. I did similarly the same thing with these little guys. I made one and then I made a few smaller. So this finger and this finger to me are roughly the same size. So I just made 4 of these for both of my hands. 2 of the smaller ones, 1 larger one. This one actually doesn't have one as far as I saw. So that's really how I made them. Those are really, really simple to make. What are some things that I learned this week? First thing is my Gorilla Glue dried out. So I didn't know this, but once you use your Gorilla Glue, once you open it, even if you keep it closed, it apparently dries out, because I was trying to use my Gorilla Glue and it's literally dried solid in there. It's just not gonna come out. The second thing, and that's something that I keep learning over and over, is that not a lot of things work out from the first time. And the more I fail, the more I learn. So I failed with the foam pieces, so I made them out of Worbla. I failed with the leg pieces, so I redid the pattern. That's something that I keep learning over and over, is that I get frustrated that the first version that I make doesn't work. But really, it's the first version that I've made. It might not work, and I should just chill out and make it again and not be so upset about it. So looking at my calendar, yes, I have my own calendar. Thank you 7S for making this happen for me. March, I was in the right month. March is coming up really fast. So right now it's the middle of January. February is a pretty short month, and March is coming up, so I have roughly 8 weeks to finish my Mechaqueen costume. Am I gonna be able to do it? I don't know. I'm not sure that I'll be able to finish the entire thing. What I decided is that usually what I do is I work on the actual prop, and then out of that prop I get really inspired to make the costume, because the prop needs a costume, right? This time I started with the costume and not with the props, so I might have to leave that for last. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to focus on the actual armor and the costume, and make sure that all of that is complete. If I don't finish the gun, then that's okay. I'm just gonna have to make it for a different convention. So what I try to do for myself is I try to set goals that I can actually complete. I gave myself about 3.5 to 4 months for Mechaqueen. I have quite a lot done. However, I don't really know if the 4 weeks are going to be enough for me, just because I work full time. So really in the afternoons I have only a little bit of time to work on it. I'm gonna be quite honest, I don't fully feel like working on it every single day. Once I come back from work, I'm tired. I just wanna sit down and play with my cats and eat dinner and maybe play some Overwatch or some Skyrim or something. So I might not, but that's okay. I'm not mad at myself. It just means that that was a big build and I just needed the extra time to finish it. Along with that, I also decided that instead of buying a bodysuit, which is my original idea, was I was going to buy a bodysuit and then take it in to my own measurements and sew everything on that. Instead of doing that, I'm just gonna use some leggings and a shirt that I already have that are black. Why am I doing that? A, to save money, because it keeps turning out to be a more expensive costume than I thought it would. I keep needing more foam, more supplies, more stuff. I haven't even bought the PVC that I need for the wings, or it's probably not that expensive, but you know what? Things add up, because once you start needing all those different supplies, yeah, it really adds up. I'm sorry, guys. So instead of doing that, I'm just gonna use my own stuff. And for point number 2, I don't even have to take those things in, because I already know the leggings are gonna fit me, and I already know that the shirt is going to fit me. So I guess that's just gonna be more comfortable and not so restrictive. Now, when I wear bodysuits, I find that the torso area, everybody has a different size of a torso area, and sometimes even if it fits my lanky hands and feet, it doesn't fit my torso. So if you sit down, it starts pulling in the back, and it starts really like hurting your shoulders and your back and everything. So having 2 separate garments, I think, is really gonna help that, so that it's just gonna increase my comfort level, I think, in my opinion. Hopefully I'm right, we'll see. Anyways, guys, my vlogs keep getting longer and longer, so thank you so much for joining me, and like, favorite, and subscribe for more fun costume videos. Thanks for being here, guys. Happy cosplay.